what has happened is a colossal military disaster. We shall go on to the end. We shall never surrender.
Some of your actors next door, in talking about the film, they said they love the color of it. It really does have this terrific look. How much do you think about all the visual elements?
Well, I wanted to tell a story primarily visually, and for me, cinema is a primarily visual medium. My director of photography, my production designer, myself, we try not to be too overly schematic or self-conscious about a look. We want the look of the film to reflect the circumstances of the making of it, and in this case, to reflect the circumstances of the real historical events. And so we try to shoot in real places with real things, real planes, real ships, thousands of extras, things that we can then create a look, create a style for the film that arises organically from the circumstances within which we're shooting the film.
Does it feel, when you mentioned something big like this, and you've obviously done other very big things, is it daunting? Because in this instance, it's real. It's a real thing that happened.
I think the daunting prospects of this film were the things that we hadn't done before, like a large-scale marine unit. I mean, possibly the largest marine unit that a film's ever had, with more than 60 boats on particular days. I'd never done anything like that. That was very daunting. But a lot of the film builds on my experience of doing large-scale action films, epics, in the past. And so you take that skill set with you and it gives you confidence. And then you try to put yourself in a position as a filmmaker of challenging yourself. Dealing with real historical material brings a daunting quality to the film all of its own, a sense of responsibility to history and to the people who were involved in the real history.
Well, I was familiar with the name of the place, but I was not entirely familiar with what took place there and what you depict in the film. Is your sense that most audiences will know this just by name or not know it?
It's very interesting working on this project for an international audience. People in Britain grow up with this story. They talk about the Dunkirk spirit. It's a huge part of the culture. But I think younger audiences, even in Britain, may not be that familiar with the specific events or the reality of what happened. American audiences are very unfamiliar with the story. And I think as we push the film out there are people who will know the story very well, who'll be experiencing it. There will be people for whom the story is completely fresh and completely new, who will also be experiencing it in a slightly different way. The film we've tried to make is one that is based on suspense and adrenaline and intensity. And I think that's something that is a very universal language. It's very much the sort of lingua franca of cinema in general, is the suspense movie and the creation of suspense. And so our hope is that transcends national boundaries and is something that we can all experience together.
The obligatory Harry Styles question. Mark Rylance is fabulous here. Kenneth Branagh is fabulous here. A newcomer like Harry, was that a risk in your mind or not?
Well, part of my job is to see what somebody can do. Look at an audition or a series of auditions, as Harry did for us, and see what the potential there is in terms of how that actor can take on the character. What I look for in an actor is somebody who can bring to life what I've got on the page, but then add something to that, bring something fresh, bring something new to that. And I think what Harry does in the film is it's subtle and it's truthful, and that's really the most you can ask for of an actor.